Okay, go ahead, George.
Okay, welcome to tonight webinar. I'm like always really excited talking about Eric Worre seminar. And by the way, a book. By the way, guys, for those of you that don't know, if you can become a director by now, from now to before convention, I think the week or the 2 weeks before convention, I don't remember the date, you're going to be invited to a special leadership meeting. And if it's like was last year, it's going to be amazing. Last year, we happened to have Eric Worre there, and this year we're having him again. And I tell you one thing, the reason the company invite him again is because the incredible breakthrough that happened after that event. The volumes went up in a big way. It was the first time that the company, they talk about the 90 days. As a matter of fact, the company was so impressed that they went to a seminar a couple of months later in Las Vegas where they designed the 90 days based on Eric Worre training. But guys, make sure you do everything possible to become at least a director, although shoot for executive, always shoot for the higher one, and then you will be invited to this leadership event at the convention in San Diego. But anyway, let's start it. And as you know, this is based on the book GoPro. And if you have not read it or you have not gone through the skills, or you make sure you go and practice them because that's the best way to learn this. Now, this is very important. At every step in the recruiting process, you always are going to come across questions and objections. This is natural. Now, you know the sad part that about I don't know what kind of statistics we have now, but I remember when I was starting in network marketing, they said that most people stop prospecting after the third person. Not the third no, the third contact. And now the third contact could be a no or could be a maybe. But they stop because they don't understand this process. Because most people, when they join, they get so excited. They think that everybody's going to be excited. And the reality that that's not the case. Doesn't matter how great what we have is but also the thing is that that's the way that works. Most people are not going to see the opportunity. Many people are going to say no. Other people may even get upset, but this is natural part of the process. Now, a lot of times your prospect will just be bringing them up to just the objection, just to sound that they know a lot, that they are really intelligent. They don't want to seem easy and they just trade objections just to feel better. That's it. Some people, it's just that they are jealous of the potential of the thing that you have and they feel that they cannot do it, and it's why they throw objections too. Now, the way that you respond is the most important way. Don't act defensive. That's really negative because when you are defensive or when you start screaming or something like that, you plant a seed of doubt in their mind. Make sure that you are listening. If you are offensive, you will chase them away. This is important. That's why they put it as one of the sessions. Okay, let's start it. Every session is book. I found out that session objections fall into one or two categories, which is the first one. The first one is the prospect
George, can you hear us?
yeah, I can.
Yeah, we lost your audio.
Still?
No, we can't hear you.
Oh, you cannot hear me? Okay, let me call again.
No, it's the audio connection.
Yeah.
There you go. You're back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Some
Okay.
loose connection or something.
But anyway, this is that Eric Worre said that he said.
We lost you again.
Oh, okay. I don't know why because I am on the phone.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay. Well, guys, for those of you that are listening, we may be trying a new system sometime in the next few
Yeah,
weeks.
we're losing you again.
I don't get it why. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, let me call again.
Yeah, try to call
Hello.
back in. Yeah, our apologies for the difficulties. Just a quick reminder, if you have any questions for George, please make sure you Type them in at your GoToWebinar control panel at the top right of your screen. Should be in the questions or chat box area. And while we wait for George to come back in,
Hello?
yeah, now we hear you.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, guys, as I said before, and probably that's why I was cut off by webinar, we may be trying something new in the next 4 weeks because it seems to be more and more extensive, the problems that we have with GoToWebinar lately. I don't know why. But anyway, okay, guys, as Eric Worre said, I have found that objections fall into one of two categories. The first one is the limiting belief on their prospects and their abilities. They are not sure that they can be successful, and that's why they ask sometimes questions that don't make sense. Now, the second one is they don't have belief in network marketing. They are not sure network marketing really is going to help them achieve their goals, or they have doubts because somebody else told them how bad is network marketing. And we are going to cover those two. But keep this in mind because all of them, all the different objections come in these two different places. And we are going to talk about that in a second. Now, one of the things important is that in order to, as I said before, common sense and also empathy, it's important that you relate to people because you have to put in their place. Even if they are making it up, the objection, put yourself in their place. Listen to them. It's why we have two ears. The best way not to relate to people is to let them know that you are like them. And there's a old way, and we're going to tell you in a second, that is very successful in connecting with people. Now, you had the same doubts, tell them the same question, tell them they have similar fears, or if that was not you, somebody else that had the same fears, the same questions, and how they overcame them, or how you overcame them. Okay, I don't know what happened here. Okay, believe it or not, your story and the story of others will do more to overcome objection than anything else, and it's why I like to get to know every time FYI, I say FYI, I send you an email from Isogenics, or I go as often as I can there because they have almost every week they have new stories. Listen to the stories of the different people that have been successful because you're going to realize that telling stories is more powerful than anything else, and any facts and any numbers that you show to people. We always heard before, and we talk about that in one of the skills. Uh, Stories sell, facts tell. And we want to make sure that the people open up, and the only way is through stories. And this is, again, the best way also for us to share, to actually to answer objections. Now, there's an old tactic that's called the feel and found. It works with the concept of empathy. And the way that works is really simple. See, here, and you probably, many of you are familiar with this. I know how you feel. I felt the same way, but here's what I found. Now you can say it in your own words. You say, "Oh, I know what you feel. I know where you are. I know what is you stand. I was in the same place, but let me tell you where I am now or where I found out." You see, you don't have to use the same words. Also, if you are not, if somebody, for example, is talking about, "Oh, I don't have the money," but you had money when you got in Isogenics, and for you was easy. You say, you just tell a story of somebody else that didn't have the money. Also, it says, "Oh, I know how you feel. A friend of mine felt the same way until I found out the value that we have here in Isogenics." Again, this is a really powerful technique. Now, interesting that, as I hear say, that Eric Worre said, you modify this based on your story and your prospect story, and also the stories that you are using. But again, this is a very powerful tool. And again, this is in skill number 4 in the second part on objections. And you don't have to take a lot of notes because most of these things are on the book. Actually, the book goes in a little more information. Now, let's talk about when prospects have a limiting belief in their abilities. These are some of them. I don't have the money. Now, even if they really don't have the money, if a person is really excited, they're going to find it. a good example is when I started in network marketing. The company I started was around $800 to join, and I literally didn't have that kind of money. And what I did, I sold my microwave, my TV, and I borrowed money, and that's the way that I was able to get the money to join the company. And the reason is because I knew if I joined that company, I was going to make the money back really quick. Again, but if the person doesn't have the belief in his or her abilities, they're not going to sell their TV. They're not going to trying to find the money. And even many times they have some of the money, but they're afraid of using it because they don't know if they can get it back. I don't have the time. The same thing. When a person a person really wants to do this, they are going to find the time. Again, I hate to use myself as an example, but the truth is when I joined in the first network marketing company, I had three jobs, and I didn't have a cell phone or anything like that. I really have to make sure that I make the time. And then, like one of the millionaires said, I start building in the pockets of my life and while I was doing my regular jobs. But again, this is a lack of belief in their abilities that they can find their time to build the business. They're saying it is not my thing. The same thing. They believe, oh, I cannot do this because it's not my thing. Let's suppose there's a person that's an accountant and they think that they cannot do it because the only thing that they know or he knows or she knows is to be an accountant. I know a salesperson. This is typical. And one of the things that you should say, oh, I'm glad you're not. Most of the millionaires are moms and grandmoms, and people that are don't have experience in sales. Welcome. Now, what if somebody has experience in sales? What do you say? Oh, there are a few that are millionaires that had experience in sales because we have both. I don't know anyone. Obviously, lack of belief in their abilities of getting or talking to people. I'm too old, or too young, or too weird, or too tall, or too short, or too fat, or too skinny. All of them have to do with the abilities. But anyway, remember, and these, all of them can be answered about the same way. And we are going to talk about that in a second. But keep in mind that, again, any of these objections, and if you ask me for some objection, I can tell you in what category they fall. Now, when a person tells you something like, in the case, I just don't have the money right now, this is what Eric Worre has in his book. I had the same exact challenge. I did not have enough money to pay my bills, let alone start a new business. But when I thought about it, I realized that if I didn't have enough money to pay my bills now, how I was going to change that in the future? I was tired of being behind. I was tired of always scrambling. I wanted more out of life. So you know what I did? I found a way. And it was the best decision I have ever made. Now, let me ask you something. If you really felt this was the chance for you to take control of your financial future, do you think you can find a way to make it happen? Now, if a person tells you, oh, I don't have the time, you see it's really similar. You just apply it to the money. And I don't have a slide for that one, but this is similar. I don't have the time. You say, I had the same exact challenge. Or somebody else, in my case, I had the same exact challenge. I didn't have enough time. I have 3 different jobs, and I didn't have the time to start a business. Whoa, that was crazy. But when I thought about this, I say, I want to live the life the way that I'm living it now. And by the way, I'm talking myself. How is this going to be changed in the future? I was tired of having 3 jobs. So you know what I did? I found a way. It was the best decision I have ever made. And you see, this is interesting, and then you close to this, that this is very important. If you really felt this was a chance for you to take control of your financial future and to have the time, do you think you could find a way to make it happen? It is interesting because those are very 2 common objections. No money, no time. I am a salesperson. I know what you mean. I felt this was the same way until I found out that most people that are making incredible amounts of money in this business are not in sales. And you know what? I was tired, and if that's your case, I was tired of working in a job for a salary. I never was going to have the money. I never was going to have the dreams that I wanted. I was tired. So you know what I did? I found a way. I found a way to do this because I understood that this was not a sales business. Let me ask you something. If you really felt this was the chance for you to take control of your financial future, do you think you can find a way to make it happen? You see, all of them, you can apply it to the same, any of the limiting, the ones that have to do with the limiting belief. I am too old. I am too young. I don't speak Spanish. I mean English very well. And that was, by the way, that was one of my excuses. I remember when I was going to do the training, or I was doing already the training with Bob Proctor, and he asked me, well, what do you think are the biggest challenges that you have? And the one that I came up with the most was that I didn't have enough money, one of them. And the second one, I didn't know enough people, excuse me. I didn't know enough people. And the second one, that my English was not good. And he said, okay, what other excuse you have? And how would you answer that? For example, in the case, I don't know enough people. Oh, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. I just came to this country and I didn't know anybody. That's my story. But you know what? The more I realize that I have to do something and get out of my 3 jobs, I decided to do something. Do you know what I did? I found a way, and it was the best decision I ever made. Now, you really felt this was a chance for you to take control of your financial future, even if you don't know anybody like I didn't. Do you think you could find a way to make it happen? You see, you can adapt to it. You don't have to even use the same words. This is so powerful. This strategy that you see here, and it's why I stay in this life for a little while, because again, this is powerful. And again, you don't have to copy it. You can find it on your book, in the book, the GoPro. Now, when people have limiting belief about network marketing, is this MLM? Is this one of those things, of those pyramids? Or I don't care about network marketing? You probably heard that before. Oh, I don't want to bother my friends. Or even, how much are you making? Although, how much are you making? You fell in between the 2 categories. And the reason I have it here is because Eric Worre has here. But when we were talking in the seminar with Eric Worre, he said this is one that can go either way. And the reason is that sometimes they ask you, hey, how much are you making? Because they are not sure that they can make money themselves. And it's why it can be the limited belief on themselves. It could be also unlimited on network marketing. How come in the network marketing? Because they don't believe that anybody can make money in this business. And that's why he falls on the 2 categories. And that's why it's interesting to how you respond. It's interesting because you can respond either way. You can respond on any of the other ways. But anyway, here let me show you how the example that Eric Worre says. Let's suppose that somebody say, "Hey, is this MLM?" And if they say with emotion, "Oh, you have a story. Did you try it at some point? What happened?" You are going to ask them, because is this network marketing really? Oh, wow, you have a story. Or do you have some experience? Did you try it at some point? What happened? And by the way, there are many ways that I do this. I use this part really often. And they say, yeah, I joined a company a few years ago. I bought some products. I lost my money. And I replied, what do you think was the reason you didn't have success? Very important. What do you think that was the reason you did not have success? Now, the prospect is going to answer and say something like, in this case, well, my friend talked me into it. I didn't have a lot of time. I thought more people would join right away because I was excited. I guess I just lost interest. And then you reply, do you think you really gave it a fair shot? And most people say, not really. I replied, do you think network marketing was the problem, or do you think maybe your timing was not right? You see, you're not saying, or maybe you screwed up. You're not saying anything negative. Just say, or do you think maybe your timing was not right? They say it was probably the timing. And you see, you're going polite here. You are not being offensive or defensive in any case. And I love this answer. And let me go one more in a second. Okay. This is what I say too. I use a lot. And for those of you that have been on the phone with me or in a presentation, when somebody said that they have a bad experience in network marketing, I just say, tell me more. What else did happen? If I can show you how, if I can show you that we don't have any of those challenges, would you take a serious look to our business? Remember the if I, and I would that we see in invitations and the skill number two. This is a really powerful. If I can show you that we don't have any of those challenges, would you take a serious look to our business? It's really simple, really simple. And this works really well. Another way that you can say, "Oh, I'm glad," and again, many of you have heard me saying that. "Whoa, I'm glad we don't have any of those problems." Let me tell you why we are so excited about our business. You see, it's really the other one is I don't want to bother my friends. Now, this is a belief that although we have it here in the belief of network marketing, also goes into belief in the personal. It can be either way, and the reason is because sometimes people basically what they are saying, I don't know how to talk to my friends. I don't know how to tell them about this business. I don't know, and that's why it's so cool to keep it simple, because when we are doing it simple with them, then they say, "Oh, I think I can do this." But still, this is gonna come up once in a while. Um, doesn't come as often to me lately for some reason. Probably because I think probably because during the presentation or when I talk to them, this objection probably is already answered. But it's going to happen to you. I relate to them the same thing, telling my story, someone's story. Then I ask question, but let me tell you how. You say, "Oh, I know how you feel." I felt the same way when I realized that this was something that my friends needed, because I didn't want them to get upset when I started having all these benefits of the business and the products. It's simple. Now you can and again you can tell your stories and this other one is really cool. I when I read it the first time I thought it was really cool and I started using it the few times lately that somebody has come with this. They said, "What makes you think you're going to be bothering your friends? Or if you truly believe in the product and the business, will you let your friends know about it?" If I can show you how we share this product with others without feeling or sounding like a sales pitch, would that help you? This last phrase is really powerful. If I could show you how we share this product or the business with others without feeling or sounding like a sales pitch, would that help you? And by the way, you may be asking, how do you do that? Using the tools. Using the tools. Like we say in the skill number 3 in presenting. But again, this is really powerful. I love it. If I can show you how we share this product with others without it feeling or sounding like a sales pitch, would that help you? I think that's really, really powerful. Now, people ask you, how much are you making? Now, before I go into this one, it's interesting because, yes, I have this before when I started. And again, this is a belief, like I say, that goes also both ways. It could be I believe that people don't make money in network marketing, or I believe that they don't think that they can make money. But when this one came, this objection came very often when I was starting out, and I realized that one of the reasons that it was coming up so often is because I was thinking people were going to ask me that question. And it's funny, it's like if I was predicting what was going to happen. When I had that mindset, a lot of people were asking me, how much money you are making? And until I learned from my upline, first of all, that you had to have posture. And second, that you had to be strong on your answers. And this was something that I was taught by one of my upline, one of my first upline. He said, I just started, and the reason I'm telling you is because I know you and I can make a fortune. Now, it's interesting. The person that told me this is a multimillionaire today, and he lives in a ranch in Colorado, and retired. And he told me that actually, when you approach people and you say, the reason I'm telling you this, I'm sharing this with you is because I know you and I together can make a fortune. Rarely that objection came up. And that's why after I learned from one of the Tilson brothers, this is a couple of brothers that became multimillionaires in network marketing years ago, he was a student and he was using this at the beginning of when he was approaching people, and similar to the approaches that we have in the skill number 2. As a matter of fact, we covered that approach. When I say somebody, the reason I'm calling you because I know you and I can make a fortune, almost since that point, I think I have had very, very few people that asked me how much I was making. And I'm talking when at the beginning, when I was not making any money. But anyway, this is one way that you can answer. The other one is that you can, if you have earned some money, and I say, just tell them. If you have been for a few years, and I know there are some people on the call that have been for a few years, they had not earned $1 million, but they had getting paid, they had got paid 100,000, 50,000, or something like that. Tell them, oh, I just got paid over $50,000 so far, and I keep collecting from what I did months ago. But the best one when somebody started is the first one. However, this is another one. If I show you that I have been making some money, would you join me? This is even if it's $20. Now, Eric recommends to tell stories. And this is stories of other people. And I do that often. Again, for those of you that know me, I always tell stories. I'm telling stories from, for example, Emily, Barbara, and Hayden, and her husband Hayden, how they went from zero, being just personal trainers, and for a year struggling in isogenics. And then when they understood that they have to tell stories, they asked for their why, etc. Now they are the youngest millionaires in isogenics. Or Lynn Haggeron. And by the way, this guy never experienced in network marketing. Or Lynn Haggeron with experience in network marketing, how in just 3 months she was earning more than most people make in a year. And this is a great story for networkers, or people like moms. You can talk about moms, and there are so many moms in isogenics, like Cindy Hughley, etc. I mean, guys, just it's why you have to learn the stories. When you see a millionaire story, read it and see where they come from. But telling stories is the most powerful. Now, guys, I know there are many objections. You're probably saying, okay, well, how do I answer all of them? Well, we already actually this chapter is like the blueprint, because I already tell you the how Phil found theory and what you did, and let me tell you what I did, and things like that. Use that blueprint, and you are going to answer every objection. And anyway, Alex, are you there? I would like to see if anybody has any questions or any objection that we don't cover. And I will go to slide any slide that you can see how you can answer that objection. Actually, Alex, are you there?
Yeah, so far so good.
Okay.
No no questions.
Question or objections or?
Nothing. Not.
Oops. I don't know what happened here. Suddenly. Okay. All right. Let me go over. If any question, we were talking about the. I'm going to move it to the next one. No questions so far, huh?
Nope.
Wow, that is good.
Interesting. You have this list out here, and it's like most of these objections I had at the beginning myself. I thought I didn't have the time, I didn't have the money for this. It's not my thing. I'm not a salesperson. I didn't want to talk to people, and so on. And I'm so
Oh
glad
yeah, I
that
remember that one.
yeah, and I'm so glad that actually, I did overcome all of those objections with your help. Because as a matter of fact, I didn't even, even though I was over 300 pounds, I myself didn't even, think I needed to lose weight. so, we need to educate people and help them see the benefits that
Yeah,
isogenics can bring into their lives.
that's right. I love this. The reason I'm going back to this one, because you can use it for every objection. I just don't have the money. You go through the same blueprint. I don't think people can make money. I think this is a pyramid. Everything. Now went to 2 different formats when we went to the two, but this one is amazing. And then the last part, do you think you could find a way to make it happen? I love it. Wow, I probably this was really good, because if nobody had any questions,
Well, we're
Whoa.
past.
Usually, it's funny. Usually, when we do presentation on objections, we have a lot of questions. I'm surprised that we don't have any this time.
Well, perfect. By the way, while we wait, if somebody actually does post a question or so, George, about next week's webinar. Will there be a webinar next week, next Monday?
Yeah, yeah. Porque why is something big happening? Oh, for those of you that don't know,
Aren't you?
I'm getting married this Saturday. Yeah,
Well,
it's gonna be well. Finally, I know it will happen, but I didn't know when. And now I know this out. Of course, I had known this since January when I proposed.
congratulations, George.
Yeah,
So,
but uh, but yeah, it's gonna happen. However, we are not going in our honeymoon until the week after, and that's why we
okay.
are going to be having this webinar. We are going to be in California. We are going to be in Napa Valley specifically. We are going to be having some meetings in the San Francisco area. In other words, we can deduct everything. um, we will have more information soon on that. I don't have the information, but they're sending me the location sometimes in the next day or so. But I'm
Okay.
very excited. The other thing, guys, for those of you that are close to Minnesota, make sure you go to the ICN University. And the ICN University, this one is going to be streamed over the internet. Make sure you are in. I know some of you can't make it to Minnesota, but there is no excuse not to be on the live stream that they are going to have. And obviously, convention is, I think, it's 80 days away or something like that. Make sure you get ready because this is going to be an amazing convention. One of the products that they are going to introduce is finalized because they were working on that. Wow, it's going to be one of my favorites. Seriously, it's going to be in my top two, number one or two. I'm not sure yet, um, or maybe three. I don't know. But it's going to be powerful. The sales on isogenics are going up. For those of you that heard Kathy Coover, we hit $2.7 million at the beginning of this month last week, and if you multiply that by 365, that means that if we would be starting the year now, and every day would be $12.7 million, we would be really close to the $1 billion in a year. Now, I don't think we're going to hit it this year. I know we are not unless we get to 4 million a day really quick. But I think next year we are going to be on the $1 billion a year. Isogenics, interesting. This is a webinar that I'm thinking in doing in about 4 weeks after we finish all this with Eric Worre and one more. Different is talk about why isogenics. After talking to corporate, one of the things that we see is that Isogenics is not comparing with Herbalife or Amway or any of the large network marketing companies. Amway is the largest company. I think their sales are 12 or 13 billion dollars in a year. And Jim Coover said our landmark is or a competition is not Amway, it's not Herbalife, it's not Nu Skin or any of the billion-dollar companies. Our competition is Johnson and Johnson. That's almost $50 billion in sales. And he said, well, our goal is to be a $40-50 billion corporation. Think about that. Isogenics is going to be a multi-billion dollars. And one day, I believe really, because the way that the management is being set up, that we are going to be a $40 billion corporation. Think about that. How much money the company are going to be paying when they become a $40 billion a year? That's over $20 billion per year in commissions. Think about that. It's a great ride. We have seen tremendous incomes right now until now. We have 110 millionaires so far. Most of them, I think 70% or 75% are moms and grandmoms. We have an amazing plan. We have products that are really unique, that are changing people's life for the best, the same that the business. I mean, this is amazing, guys. It's why it's worthwhile to develop your skills. Read that book many times. Make sure you also are always in isogenicbusiness.com because the information that you get there is first class compared with any other training company that I've seen. But anyway,
Yeah.
I could keep going and on and on, but anyway.
Yeah. George, well, those are impressive numbers, and it definitely speaks well for the future, that future vision that we hopefully will be seeing soon. Now, Matt actually brought up one of the objections that's quite common, and it is an objection when you're asking for people's social security to enroll
Mhm.
them as an associate and not as a preferred customer.
Right. Okay. This is really important. When you are talking to people and you are setting up, you are talking about using the business and talking about the business, the lifestyle, their goals, their why. Rarely ask you for a social security because they know they have to pay taxes. Rarely. And when I mean rarely, uh, I'm trying to think when was the last time that somebody that has that objection. However, or the times that I had it, or when people call me and say, "What do I do without the objection?" I know the business probably they didn't see the potential of the business. And one of the things that I say to people, "Oh, the reason we need the Social Security is because you are going to be getting paid, and your products are going to be for free. But if you don't get a Social Security, then that money is going to go somewhere. Do you prefer to get the money, or that money goes to somebody else?"
Okay.
And most people say, what do you mean the money? Yeah, but the money is going to go because when you are going to recommend somebody, you can get paid, and that could be big. Do you want the money to go to somebody else or to you?
Yeah, and they need that Social Security for the 1099 that
Yes.
we.
Now, by the way, that's only in the U.S. Other countries are
Yeah.
different. In Canada, they don't need the Social Security, but there are other countries that they need also a national ID. It depends on the country. Each country has a different regulations. The U.S. The reason that we need for two reasons the Social Security that are really strong. One of them, obviously, taxes, and the second one is Homeland Security laws. That, by the way, I don't have a clue why, but that's what, before the Homeland Security laws, we needed a Social Security always, but we didn't need the date of birth, and now it's forced. But anyway, who knows? There has to be a reason.
Okay, and actually, George, Christine wanted to see if there's any place where we can get those figures you were talking about uh, earlier about the goals for isogenics hitting, the
Yeah,
40
well,
billions.
the
Is
$40 billion, they were in a. I don't know if they are in writing, but they were in one of the streams. And for those of you that have never been in one, it's why it's so important to be on the streams, leadership calls that they do once a month, because it wasn't the one that I don't remember was the last one or the one before where Jim Coover was talking about the goals. Now about the $2.7 billion, this was in the last one where Kathy said we had the best the best first week of May of month, and where we broke the record $2.7 million in a day.
so then we'll
If you
try
go
we'll
to
try to
Kathy Coover
place.
on Facebook, you may find it there because I think she
Yeah.
posted there too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great to follow Kathy on Facebook, and also I'll try to post links to those leadership calls on the howtogetgoing.com site by
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah, it's so important because guys, they say so many great things there every once a month. Um, Actually, we have one coming up. Oh, I'm confused. Hold on a second, please. I don't. Yeah, we have no. We have one, but I think was. Oh, I'm confused. I don't remember if we just have it or because I always skip it. But you just go to the back office and it tells you. It tells you when is the next one.
Yeah. Okay, George. Well, seems that no more questions. So then will be I want to thank you, George. I want to thank each and every single one of you for joining us, and then I guess we'll see all of you next Monday at the same time. And
Yeah, next
George, you're
Monday
gonna
we will go
cover.
to a new skill. Skill number 5. Or five, I
Perfect.
think. Yeah, skill
6,
number 5.
5.
We had two more to go after that one. And then the following week, we play by ear. I would say next week if we are going to have it the following week, because again that's the week that I'm going to leave. Although I think I'm leaving on Tuesday, but we will play by ear.
Okay. Excellent. Well, then thank you, George, and thank you, all of you, and see you next Monday. Good night, everyone.
Okay, see you guys. Bye.